Hi guys, this time I wanted to tell you about the third preamplifier that I got from AliExpress. I got two of them as to be able to recommend something to pair with the clones that I reviewed, the Musical Fidelity A1 clone and Dartzil NHB108 called D5 Pro clones that I reviewed on my channel. Some of you asked me about some preamplifiers recommendations. So I got two preamplifiers that I've already reviewed for them as recommendations. The third one is not exactly a clone, but it's based on Mark Levinson's John Curl JC2 circuit. It's very simple. It's one channel only, but it's very precise. And this would be my go-to recommendation for pairing with Musical Fidelity A1 clone. But I also got AccuPhase C445 clone. Which is dated because the idea for clones is that the patents have expired, the schematics are in public domain, so you can create a preamplifier or amplifier like that with your own hands in your own backyard. And it will be completely legal, completely okay to do that. Okay, so I already got two of them as two recommendations. Why do I have the third one? And what's this? Because it's not Goldmund, and never mind the very smart C here, because you know it's not Goldmund, it's Coldmund. Never mind the logo. Why did I get the third one? I got the third one because I still had some coupons left during last AliExpress sale, and I was browsing through different offers because you know my wallet was itching to use those coupons, and I was browsing through offers. I was browsing through some tablets, through some NVMe drives for my computers, and I was browsing through some audio equipment. And one thing caught my eye, not the external look of it, but the photo of the insides. Why? I'll explain that later, but in short, what I saw in the photo was like an art piece in museum. So I decided to give it a go and to order one. And it came about 2 weeks ago. I had to give it a proper burn-in. You may have seen photos of this unit amongst others in this pyramid that I had here during burn-in. So let's start with the externals. No, let's start with what it actually is. This is another preamplifier based on John Curl's design. The same design that was used in the JC2 Max that I reviewed a couple of videos earlier. But this one has some additional things like more channels than one. So, never mind the logo. I don't know why they keep these badges on. I guess they are just coming with the case. You can replace it with anything you want. So I got the preamplifier and I got the remote. It's plasticky, yes. Looks awful, but it works, and it can not only control your volume, like you can see here. Should be, yes. You can see it now. You can also change the channels, or you can switch it on and off. And I think one of the buttons was allowing to mute. No, that was... never mind. Okay, so that's about the remote. It's cheap, but it works. It works, and that's the highest praise, because in many cases you don't get the remote with your amplifier or your preamplifier. So we have a channel control here that doubles as a power on and off switch when you press it, and we have volume control here, which doubles as a mute when you press it. We have a display here, which will show you the chosen channel and the volume level, and in the middle here is a receiver. That's also an interesting thing. kind of a nice, I don't know, maybe not a joke, but nice touch. When you're powering the device using the power switch on the back, it'll give you something like that. HiFi. That's cool. When the device is in standby mode, one of the segments of the LCD display will be used as a power state diode. Okay, so we've seen the front. Let's disconnect the power cable and let's see what do we have on the sides and in the back. In short, there's nothing on the sides, so let's go straight to the back. Interesting bits are in the back. Main switch with fuse, replaceable by user, the IEC input for your power cable. By the way, as for all other amplifiers and preamplifiers, this one also benefits from using good quality power cable. I know it sounds like magic, but just browse and look at some of my videos on power cables. And what do we have here? We have output, RCA output, and we have 4 RCA inputs here. So very simple back, 1 output, 4 inputs. And now let's take a look inside and see what exactly caught my attention when I was browsing through the photos. I've already removed the screws, it's very easy to do. So let's look inside, let's use this as a stand. Yep. And let's use my classic FM antenna as a pointer. I know I shouldn't be doing this, so don't try this at home, don't do this as I do it here. I won't be touching this metal antenna to anything, but still it would be better to use something plastic. But I don't have anything plastic around here, so here it is. So, why I got this? First thing, power supply section. You can see we have 2 R-core transformers, 1 for each channel. We have separate power for the left channel and separate power for the right channel, but not only separate powers coming from separate windings of 1 transformer, but we have actually separate transformers dedicated for 1 channel only. The next thing, we have another transformer here with stabilizers, and this one is used solely for powering the displays and controlling the relays here. So we have completely separate display for audio channels, and we have completely separate power supply for controls and for relays, which is a very nice thing because it doesn't allow any noise from control devices to come to your audio board. Another thing that catch my eye is use of MKP Mandorf capacitors. Let's take a closer look here. How can I do that? Maybe like that, or maybe I just zoom in. Yes, you can probably see now that these are Mandorf MCAP capacitors. They are a bit strange because, as you can see, we have a hologram here, and I'm used to buying Mandorfs for my recaps in speakers and in some other audio equipment, but I've never seen them with hologram. So there's a high chance that these may be fake, especially when you take a look at the AliExpress and realize that you can buy them on AliExpress. You can buy any type of Mandorf capacitor on Ali. So, still, it doesn't matter. Why? Because there's only 4 of them. You can replace them with originals. The original MCAPs are pretty cheap. I think I've checked that. An MCAP with 2.7 microfarads, original one, HiFi locally sourced from official distributor, is like $5. So you're looking at $20 here. And that's not all. You can replace them with something better. You can replace them with some Jansens. You can replace them with some other Mandorfs, Audens or other brand that you like. because the board underneath have mounting holes in PCB for different sizes of capacitors. So we are able to remove these and to solder another ones within like 15 minutes. Also, you can try to solder mounting points here and to be able to replace the capacitors mounted with screws, like in musical paradise preamplifiers. Okay, what else? We have a big set of Nichicon Gold capacitors. We also have Nichicon Golds here. We have red WIMA polypropylene caps inside here, and the description for the offer on Ali said that these transistors are carefully paired. Here you can actually see PNP1 and NPN, the second one from pair here. I'm thinking about buying some radiators for them, although maybe it's not necessary, but there's some room left on the PCB, and I think I like the look of it. You know, the round ones looking like the stars. Okay, we have pots for setting bias and working points of all transistors here. So you can set the bias on your own if you have right equipment and right knowledge. And what else? And I think that's it. All in all, this is a very elegant build. I am sure you've already noticed that there's one PCB, but it's completely symmetrical. So we have left channel or right channel, I don't know which one is which one, we'd have to check it. Because this is basically dual mono setup. Dual mono setup, two dual mono, exactly the same preamplifiers. And the next thing that got my attention was this thing in the back here. Let's power this on and move my antenna away. I want to show you something. Okay, so the power is back, so let's turn it on. Okay, let's power it on. That was the main power relay. But if you take a closer look and hear, I'm changing the volume right now. Can you hear that? Yes, you can. And this basically means that we're not using traditional analog resistance, variable resistance potentiometer to set up the volume, but we're using the set of relays and set of precise resistors here. So we're choosing with relays, we're choosing the combination of the resistors, and this set of resistors will be working as a kind of shunt to set up the volume level, which is a very precise and very advanced and very expensive way of doing this. Wow, on something like that I was totally surprised to see this kind of solution. Okay, but this also means that the volume control here is linear. It's not logarithmic, so it's not the way our ears are used to with setting volume control. But on the other hand, we have 128 volume levels, so we can very precisely tune the volume to our liking. Okay, let's power that off for safety reasons. So, all in all, it has absolutely stunning build on the outside and even better build on the inside. Moreover, you can buy this board separately. You can buy this board separately for like $150 only for the board. It's also available as a do-it-yourself kit. So you're buying the board and the back with all elements, and then you're doing the bias setting on your own. But you can also get it pre-made, or you can get already made preamplifier ready to be used with power section with R-core transformers. Yes. But how does it sound? And here we are coming to the part when I need to use my notes. Last night I had some serious session of listening music with this preamplifier and the other two connected to my D5 Pro clone and the Musical Fidelity A1 clone. D5 Pro is, as I said, Dartzil NHB108 clone. So, the first thing that you'll hear after connecting this preamplifier is absolute transparency. It's very clean and very airy. It doesn't create any coloration to the sound. It doesn't give you some additional bass or treble, but it doesn't also subtract anything from your music. But it's an amazing feel of clean, transparent, airy sound coming with good location of instruments. Okay, the next thing that I have noted here, and this is actually the important thing. It comes. Maybe I should mention about this earlier. Okay, when powering on, it does produce pop sound with speakers with very with amplifiers that have a very sensitive input. So when I was working with Dartzil clone, I always had to make sure that I'm powering this preamplifier first, and then, and only then, I'm powering the Dartzil clone. When I was powering off the equipment, I had to make sure that the first thing I'll power off is the power amplifier, and the second thing is this preamp. It wasn't like that with Musical Fidelity A1 clone, probably because Musical Fidelity A1 clone doesn't have such sensitive input. So there were no pops and no problems, no sounds, everything was fine. But you have to remember about that when working with some more sensitive amplifiers. It's actually a very good practice to follow this order of powering on and off equipment. It's something that's always recommended in every single manual for the audio equipment that you're able to buy, that you should always power the device in this order. The source, be it a CD player or the digital to analog converter, then preamplifier, and the last stage, power amplifiers or integrated amplifiers. And you should always power off your devices in reverse order. The first thing you're powering off would be the power amplifier or integrated amplifier. The second one would be preamplifier, and the last one would be the source, CD player or digital to analog converter. And this way you won't have any problems with this pop sound. So it's not a problem, but it's something worth noting here. Okay, the next thing. Volume is linear, it's very transparent, it's very clean, it has very nice deep bass. I was actually surprised because from all of three preamplifiers that I've tested so far, clones or Chinese made preamplifiers, this one has very deep thundering sub bass. The previous two preamplifiers weren't lacking in this department, they were actually great, but with this one, I was surprised to hear that my speakers can go even lower than I'm used to. So that's something that surprised me in a very positive way. Okay, the bass is very deep, the bass is also very clean. You have this very nice textured bass, and you can actually hear the changes in the bass. If someone is playing the bass line, you can actually hear how this bass line is fluctuating and moving. Okay, the transparency comes with another benefit. It's highly detailed, meaning that all of the brass instruments like saxophones, like trumpets, and all string instruments like violins will sound absolutely beautiful, because they will not sound as a one type of sound. I mean, if you'll remember how the trumpet sounds when heard live, it's not one sound. It's, let's say, cacophony of sounds that are giving you together this one, not one sound, but this sum of sounds, this total amount of different sounds that you're hearing as a trumpet, the total sum of these vibrations in the air. So this one is able to convey this detail from digital to analog converter straight to your amplifier, so all brass and strings instruments will sound absolutely beautiful. And that's something that I really appreciate, because my main rig has electrostatic Martin Logan Ascent speakers. So all of these small details, all of the things that I'm talking about right now, about brass and string instruments, is something that I can actually hear with my speakers, and it's just beautiful. The next thing is that the combo with D5 Pro was very dynamic and was very fast, and you had this impression that the sound is always tightly controlled, that it's fast, it's very precise, and when the note starts, it'll start right away, and when it has to end, it'll end right away. So this is a very important thing, because this allows you to hear all of the small and intricate details that can be hidden by some other sounds in your music. One thing to note here is that when I was using this with D5 Pro, the sound stage, it was there, it was okay, but it was not amazing. I think it was slightly worse than with D5 Pro alone, but when I've connected this to Musical Fidelity A1 clone, the 3D holography was back. So, technically speaking, the pairing with D5 Pro will give you great technicalities and great transparency, but in such setup, you should think about digital to analog converter or CD player that will convey great amount of information about the holography, because this one will not add anything to your sound. There are some preamplifiers and there are some amplifiers that make you hear the sound more three-dimensional. This one will pass to the output exactly the same amount of information as it was given to it on the input. Okay, so when I've connected Musical Fidelity A1, the 3D holography was back. There was no popping sound on turning on or off the preamplifier. What was also worth noting that with both clones that I've tested this, you know, when you're listening to choral music, it doesn't have to be some kind of choral church music. Let's say you have some rock song and there is a choir in the back. With this one, you can actually hear, as I was telling this earlier about brass instruments, that the choir is not one voice. When 5 people or 10 people are singing, you have a sum of their voices. And with this preamplifier, especially with highly transparent and revealing system, like my Martin Logans, you can hear that the choir is these 5 or 10 people. You can see the voices that are coming together as one entity. So that's very important and that's very nice. So this one is very highly recommended. It's very good, although I'd say that it's on par with the AccuPhase clone that I've reviewed, AccuPhase C245. Why on par? Because in some aspects this one will be better, like this transparency. But in other aspects, like 3D holography layering, the AccuPhase clone will be better. So it's more like choosing the one that you like more. It's not that one of them is better in some kind of objective terms, but if you hear one and then you hear another one, you'll choose one or another. For example, I would want to have this one in my transparent Martin Logan system to get all of this small information about the details, because I love it. But I also love the sound that's not fatiguing, the sound that conveys a lot of emotion, and the sound that has this 3D lifelike dimensionality. And in this regard, the 3D lifelike dimensionality and natural voicing, the AccuFace wins. But the AccuFace won't give you this very detailed information about harmonics in brass or strings or string instruments. So neither of these choices will be bad choice. All three of them actually will be great choices. You have to choose one preamplifier basing on your preferences and on your wallet, which brings us to the question of price. This was $400, shipping included. As usual, I'm recommending using some AliExpress coupons because you can save for like $50 on the total price. And so I recommend using coupons, and I recommend waiting for some summer sale, autumn sale, winter sale, Monday sale, choice day sale, or whatever kind of sale they have, because it will be even cheaper for you. You know, I like to have my equipment to have great value, and the value is greater when the equipment is cheaper, because you're getting more bang for the buck. Okay, what else? I've told you about the sound, about the build quality. I've told you about the popping sound. I've told you about the controls. Yes, I think that's it. Okay, I will link to the shop that I got this one from in the description of the video. I try to find the link for the board alone also. Yes, that's it. If you have any questions, if I forgot about anything, if you'd like to ask about anything more, to hear something more, just ask me in the comments section. Stay tuned for the rest of my reviews. I finally finished the burning process for all the preamplifiers, for the headphone amplifier, for another digital to analog converter that I wanted to try, SMSL DO200 Pro, which is basically built on 12, let's say that again, 12 digital to analog converters from Cirrus Logic. I have to hear that. And I've also finished burning in all of my cables that I've used for testing of this equipment. My fake Dragon source, my fake Dragon high current, my fake William E. Low power cables, etc., etc. So I'll be reviewing them, and I'll be publishing videos during next month. I hope you enjoyed this quite long, honestly, video, and hoping to see you soon. Have a great day, guys. Bye.